Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to show you guys how I did this DIY dip using these fall colors. So as you can see, one of my hands are already done. The products that you will need to complete this are, you will need a base polish, an activator, a top coat, or for the top coat you can also use gel. So if you are using gel, please make sure that you have a light box. I personally also use a nail file and a buffer, or you can use a drill if you would like. The colors that I'll be using are flannel, which is this pretty green color, and it's from the brand Revel Nail. And I will also be using Mosaic from the same brand. And this is a undertone green color, which has these pretty flakes of gold and kind of maroon colors. So the first thing that you need to do is apply a thin layer of the base coat directly to the nail. The way I do it is I start with a thin line down the middle. I pour over instead of dipping my nail directly into it. It just makes it easier when it comes time to buff. And then I repeat the same step for every single nail. I do tap each nail after I pour the powder over, just to get rid of the extra powder that may be sitting on my nail. Also use a brush to tap all of that off as well before you start the second layer. So with that second layer, you will apply it exactly how you applied the first layer, except now you're expanding the area that you're adding the liquid to. And again, now you're brushing off the extra powder that may be on the nails before you start your third layer. And with this third layer, it is very important that you get super close to your nail bed and your cuticles without actually getting this liquid base coat and the powder on your cuticles or your nail beds. The reasoning for that is if it gets on them, it is easier for your dip powder to start lifting when your nails start growing out, which then will cause your nails to not last as long as you probably want them to. Now, personally, whenever I do my nails, they do last about a solid at least 2 weeks or so. Sometimes I can get 4 weeks out of them. It just depends on the application. So now you are going to start the fourth and final layer to this process. Again, you apply the base coat on the nail, just making sure that it's not touching the nail bed or your cuticles, but getting as close to it as possible. And this is how it should look like. So I am going to skip these next two fingers because that's where I'm going to add the mosaic color, and then repeat that step to these last two nails. So now I am all done with this green flannel color, and I'm going to bring out mosaic. So sometimes with colors that have flakes or glitter, you do want to give it a little mixy mix just to make sure that the color is not sticking directly to the bottom. And with these two nails, I'm going to repeat the exact same process of pouring over this mosaic and then tapping off the excess. And this is how it looks. Now, it only looks white because there's a clear powder that's already mixed in. But I guarantee at the very end, it will not look like that. Okay, it's actually starting to look like something. Now I am going to apply another layer just to make sure I get the full color that I'm trying to achieve. And we are finished, guys. That was the last layer that we are going to add. I brush off all the excess, and this is what it looks like. And this is before I put the top coat on there. So I do a little bit more brushing. Now is when we're going to bring out the step 2, which is the activator, which bonds everything together. I do add a pretty decent layer of the activator into the nail, and then definitely let it dry for a few minutes before you start shaping and buffing. Personally, I do shape my nail before I buff, meaning I go around the cuticle area, I make sure the shape is what I want it to be, and I do that to every single nail. Now, because my layers were thin enough, my nails are not lumpy at all. And all that I do is I use this buffer and I buff the top of my nails. I know some people use drills and other tools and things to get their nails to be smooth and not lumpy. But personally, I think if you apply the layers thin enough, then you shouldn't need to use like a bunch of extra things to get your nails to be smooth. Now, since you did just buff your nails, you will need to apply the activator again to every single nail, and then you'll just have to wait a couple more minutes for it to dry. Now it's time for your top coats. We are almost there, guys. So again, you can use a regular top coat or you can use gel. It just depends on your preference. I personally want to use gel. So again, whichever preference you do choose, just make sure you add a thin layer of it to the nail and to every single nail. Now, if you're using a regular top coat, then you're just gonna let it air dry. If you're using the gel, you're gonna put it in your light box. Mine says for about a minute, so that's what I put mine to. And then you'll use the alcohol wipes, if you're using gel, to wipe off just the sticky residue that's on top. If you're using a regular polish, you're not gonna need that. This is it, guys. This is the absolute final product. I am so obsessed with how well this turned out. Please like and subscribe to my page. Thank you.